What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a ton to talk about in today's episode. We saw a ton of selling pressure across the market overall and a lot of tech stocks especially. In today's video, we're going to be explaining what happened in the market today and what to watch out for in the market right now. But if you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. But Tom, I was looking at a ton of different stocks today. I saw a ton of selling pressure. What's going on?
Yeah, this is insane. The stock rout deepens, and CNBC reports that in the final minutes of trading, the Dow shed 700 points and the NASDAQ fell 2.8%. And the selling really intensified after the S&P 500 fell below yesterday's low. And if we look at that on the chart, the low was right around $410, and 410 and 411 has been a really good support on the S&P 500, or the SPY, I should say, over the past few days. And man, once we fell below 410, you can really see how that sell-off really intensified. And man, we're seeing a ton of fear coming into the market with inflation set to rise. And it's just a very interesting situation that we're seeing going on. And we're seeing lots of stocks falling. Like we said, Apple was down another 2.5%. We've just been seeing this stock get hammered lately, as well as Microsoft. They were down 2.9%, almost 3%. Man, it's just not looking good across the board. Just about every stock was down today. We even saw the stocks that have been doing well lately, like Home Depot and Caterpillar, even falling very significantly also.
Very interesting. So before we get into some of these value stocks, what are your thoughts on the SPY right now? I know we're sitting right around 405, but do you have any major support levels you're looking out for? I know 400 is going to be a huge level. It had a hard time breaking above that, and I'm sure it's going to act as a huge support too.
Yeah, I think that as far as intraday trading goes tomorrow, I would definitely make it fall below 404, which you can see we extended way down at the end of the day on this 1 minute chart and hit 404 and then popped right back up within 60 seconds. It popped back up. So definitely watch out. I think 404 is going to be a pretty good level to break down tomorrow. If we break below 404, then definitely watch out for it to hit 400, which will be the good support that Mike said. And I think that's just the way to play it right now. Make it break below 404. But, sometimes whenever we see these huge red days out of the market, sometimes we see a little bit of recovery back up the next day. And I'm not sure we're going to see it this time with finally breaking below the support on the daily chart. You can really see how 410 was a very solid level, and we finally moved below that today. So we might continue down to touch 400 tomorrow. We'll just have to see what happens. But personally, I would just treat it as a day trade and just make it break below 404.
Gotcha. So I know we were talking a lot earlier today on just kind of a sector rotation. And if you guys look at let's say the DIA, this is the Dow, this has been outperforming the NASDAQ over the past 2 to 3 months. And what we've really been seeing is a rotation out of these high growth tech stocks. Like if you look at Palantir or DraftKings or Enphase or just the ARK ETF, ARKK, there's been a lot of selling pressure ever since the middle of February. And I really think that over the next couple weeks to the next couple months, I think we're going to start to see that rotation out of value stocks Home Depot, Walmart, Procter and Gamble, some of those stocks, and then back into these high growth stocks, because a lot of these growth stocks are at huge discounts right now, like DraftKings, Enphase, Palantir. Even if you just look at the ARK ETF, ARKK, I really wouldn't be surprised if we do start to see that buying pressure come back in pretty soon.
I'm actually with you. I think we're seeing the same type of rotation. And, we see this every few years out of the market where these rotations happen. And, for traders that are just starting out, it's one of those things where you don't really see it. But once you've been around for a little while, you'll kind of see that rotation. And I agree. I think people are definitely looking at some of these stocks like ARKK, PLTR, possibly BLNK, some of those charging stocks. I think that it could be pretty good, especially like NEO for the longer run, especially getting them almost at 50% discounts or 60% discounts right now. A lot of people are really going to be looking at that. And, some of them do have earnings coming up, or they just had earnings. Like Palantir, for example, they're really low and they just popped up on fantastic earnings and a fantastic growth outlook. So honestly, down here at lows, like Palantir and some of these other ones, if they post good earnings, that's a great sign for the longer term. And I think that that's going to show that these things still have a lot of potential to go, especially with it having good numbers and good signs. If they continue to make money. That's all that really counts for them fundamentally in the long run. Their stocks will always go up and down, but fundamentally in the long run, they should be okay.
For sure. What do you think about this Home Depot movement? I was looking at it like on the daily chart. It just got absolutely destroyed today. Some of these weekly put options are up like 600% today. I was looking at the 320 strike puts for this week. And in the past 2 days, those things went from $11 all the way up to highs of 550. So we finally saw that huge pullback out of Home Depot. And in my opinion, it was way overdue. That thing has just been going straight up for like the past couple months.
It really was. I mean, man, this is insane. Once it fell below 320 today, I could not believe it kept going down. I had a good support there and it hit there a few times in the past, but it just broke below that. It opened today around like 328, maybe 327, but it was just an insane stock, man. Falling down. Lots of people have been looking at this. I know the price of lumber is probably, it probably has really been helping Home Depot. If we look at slash LBS, I'm sure they were wow, yeah, they were actually slightly green today. So pretty good to see Home Depot fall, even though lumber went up slightly. But overall, lumber still looks like it has a lot of room to pull back. But man, Home Depot is really looking nuts. I can't believe it fell below that 320 support. And I personally feel like it could keep going down tomorrow, but man, it's went down so much the past 2 days that I don't know. I feel like some shorts would cover, or some people would buy the dip or something here, and we would see a little bit of a pop back up. But honestly, it's a really crazy move here. And if we move back above 320 tomorrow, I think we might see a little bit of a pop, maybe back up to like 325. But overall, I think there's still a lot of room to the downside on a daily level. But just since we went down so much the past 2 days, I just don't know. I feel like we might come back up tomorrow just a little bit.
Good stuff. Well, was there any like major news or anything in the market today?
Yeah, there was actually some crude oil news where U.S. stockpiles actually dropped by less than expected over the last week, I should say. And the Energy Information Administration, they went ahead and reported that the crude oil inventories fell by 427,000 barrels last week, compared with the analyst expectations for a draw of 2.817 million barrels. So it fell by a lot less than expected, like they said. And we could see that crude oil actually popped up early this morning pretty significantly, up to 66.40. If we go look at that 1-year daily chart on crude, there is a pretty good resistance up here, around 66 and then around $68. And we might double top up here around this. But man, with everything going on and all like the gas prices going up, and maybe like with inflation going up too, it might really make oil skyrocket. And if we look at like a max weekly chart of oil, like back in 2008 and early in 2000 and early like in the year 2000, you can see oil really started ripping up like with inflation. And if we see inflation start to go up, I think crude could also keep ripping now too.
Sounds great. Well, let's get right into our momentum plays in the member of the day. Today's member of the day is Red. Huge shout out, Red. Thanks for being a great member of the Discord chat. You've been around for a little bit and you're super positive. So thank you so much for everything you do. And thanks for being a great member. But Tom, let's get right into our momentum plays for tomorrow. And the first one, we have Redfin to the downside.
And with Redfin, go ahead and make them fall below $49.40.
All right. And then we have MasterCard, MA.
MA, another bank stock that went down, unfortunately, today, but make them fall below 355.50.
All right. And then we have Boeing.
Boeing, this one was pretty unfortunate, but make them fall below 220.
All right. So we are eyeing Redfin, MasterCard, and Boeing for potential day trades tomorrow, only if they break below the levels Tom listed. But Boeing was an amazing call out by the bot today, Tom. The bot has been on fire. How about we pull up that Discord? We can see the bot called out Boeing puts today, the 225 strike puts, when they were at around $303. And they actually ran all the way up to $480 today. So this is one of our day trading bots. If you want to trade with this bot and with Tom and I every single day, you can click the first link in the description down below for about $40 off. Of course, not every play will be like this, but it's been really hot lately. It had Fastly calls yesterday for about popped around 58%. Coin calls on Monday that popped around 252%. So feel free to check it out. It's the first link in the description down below. You can trade with Tom and I and have access to all our bots. But Tom, let's get right into the $1.1 million options trade with GM. So $1.1 million went into the GM $52.50 put options that expire on June 18th. What do you think?
Man, I don't know what to think. Looking at their max or looking at their daily chart, I should say, over the past year, it looks really good. Obviously, GM's popped a lot ever since that big COVID drop. But right now, I personally have to, I'd have to say that they're up so much over the past year that I feel like that they might be longing these puts. And, they do expire on 6/18, which is over a month away. And, honestly, like getting shares of GM at like 52.50 is not bad by any means. But if we do see a little bit of a pullback, I feel like we could keep pulling back a little bit more than we've seen now. Like if we go to that max daily chart, you can see how much General Motors is actually up over the past like couple of years. So there's definitely a lot of room, I think, to come back in the short term. But that's what makes me think that they would be longing it. But what do you think?
I'm definitely going to say that they're going to be longing these puts. Looking at their chart and just with sentiment overall in the market right now, I'm definitely with you. I think they're definitely buying these puts and they want GM to fall. And if you look at like their chart on a technical level, they're actually breaking below a pretty big support at $54 right now. So, and we also have IV rising. So I'm definitely going to say that they are longing these puts. I can definitely see GM pulling back a little bit.
That's actually a really good point. That like 54, 55 level is actually really, really, really strong, I should say, really defined. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches on this. So man, yeah, definitely a very good level right there.
Sounds good. Well, let's get right into our questions from the previous episode. And with the first question, we have Piper saying, Palantir, 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 to the moon. Kathy bought 2 million plus today. So Palantir reported some pretty good earnings yesterday. They popped a lot yesterday, and then they pulled back a little bit today. But overall, they're up over the past couple days. I really like Palantir at these levels. Their leap options are still priced pretty well. I think shares can be great for this right now. And it's awesome to see if Kathy's buying in too. I was actually looking into this and I know that she has been buying in a lot lately. What are your thoughts on this one?
I actually really like it. Like I said earlier, a lot of these stocks that are falling, like some of these growth stocks like Palantir, for example, they still posted great earnings. And they were a lot lower before those earnings came out, like around $17, and they pop back up to around 20. They're sitting around like 18 or 19 right now. So really, I think it's still a great level. They have highs at $45. And over the longer run, they should still be good. And like I said, they still have pretty good growth expectations over the next few months. So I would think that Palantir would definitely be a good stock if you wanted to average in, or Leaps could also be good as well, but it could consolidate for a few months. So just make sure you have enough time, and just I would say don't. I wouldn't really gamble on getting like anything like really close, like no close expirations, like a month or two out. I would really try Leaps or just get a lot of shares. I think honestly, just getting a lot of shares of this would be the way to go, or just sell puts. Like for example, today was a red day on this stock, so it would have been a pretty good opportunity.
Sounds great. With the next question, we have Vicky saying amazing earnings from Fubo, both on revenue and subscribers to their channel. So that's a great comment. Fubo actually finished up around 10% today, and they opened a lot higher. So this one looks like it has a lot of potential to pop back up relative to their highs. Over the past year, they went from $8 all the way up to 62. Now they're sitting right around 19. I can definitely see them popping back up, maybe retesting like that 25 or maybe like $30 level. What are your thoughts on this one overall?
Yeah, I think that Fubo's great. They're a sports streaming service. I think that they're awesome, especially with like the sports gambling type of sector, I guess you should say, starting to get better. We're seeing stocks like DraftKings, Penn, MGM. They're all like getting really big into the sports betting world. And Fubo's been rumored to be getting into that as well, possibly like talking about stuff like doing live betting during some of the streams and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of potential here with Fubo over the long run, and even just streaming sports is great. So over the longer run, that like types of stocks like this, these growth stocks, I think that they're going to be pretty good to buy down here. And you are seeing some of them start to pop. We're seeing Fubo, Palantir, and some other ones start to really come up over the past couple of days, and this might be a pretty good opportunity here.
All right. And then we have James saying, great video. What do you think about Apple and the NASDAQ overall? So, Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, Apple has been pretty good. Unfortunately, it's been coming down over the past couple weeks. It's really hit this top up here around like, it had a high of around like 145, but you can see it really hit like around 138 to 140 quite a few times and then fell down. It did hit that again and then come down, unfortunately. I will say there's a pretty good support right around $120. We're at 122.77 at the close right now. So definitely be careful. I think we could continue down. We've seen these tech stocks keep going down. So if they keep going, then obviously, like if we see the S&P 500, lots of other stocks go down, I think Apple and some of these others are going to go down too. So just be careful. But for the longer run, I love Apple over the next year to 2 years, but it's just over the next like month or 2 months, like with inflation and also with the chip shortage and stuff, it seems like there's a lot of stuff going on that could negatively affect them.
So I love both of these. Like I love both Apple and the Nasdaq for the long term. But I made a video like 2 or 3 weeks ago titled like the $217 million options trade. Yeah, it was like 2 to 3 weeks ago. 2 to 3 weeks ago, and the $217 million options trade was actually QQQ put options. And ever since I made that video, the QQQ has been tanking, and the smart money is still holding their put options. So for that reason, I'm not too bullish on the QQQ right now. The smart money's up like $60 million or something crazy in like 2 weeks. So for that reason, like I said, I'm not fully bullish on the QQQ just yet. Really, I'm just going to be watching those specific options. You can watch the $217 million options trade video to find out the exact strike price and expiration and all that good stuff. But for the most part, I'm just going to stay on the sidelines right now for the QQQ, and I'm just going to pick up some of these growth stocks at discounts like Palantir, DraftKings, and Enphase. But Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or anything you're watching for tomorrow?
Really, well, all I'm really watching right now is crude oil. It's been a pretty big thing to watch. They've had a lot of movement. They're getting really close to some of these highs. So we might see like a breakout. We might see a break to the downside. I'm not sure what we're going to see with the sentiment coming up over the next few weeks, but gas prices are on the rise. So generally, I would think that oil would be going up just given what we're seeing. Plus, the demand is kind of going up as well. So I would think that they would make it kind of rise. We'll just have to see, but definitely watch out. I think that oil is going to have a lot of interesting factors as well as the overall market. We just saw the SPY break below that awesome support around 410 to 411. Now it's moving down. So like I said, watch out if it falls below 404, which was a very defined on the 1 minute at the end of the day. Like I said, on this candle coming down, if we fall below 404, it could be a pretty safe trade down to like 402 to 400, somewhere around there.
Sounds great. Well, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. For special market updates and all that good stuff, text stocked up to 39970. Text stocked up to 39970 for special market updates and alerts from Tom and I. And if you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. And if you want to trade with Tom and I and our bots, you can click the first link in the description down below. And if you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.